Oh, what's up, Animaniacs? My name is Arnimane, and welcome to another episode of Would You Rather. This is episode number 79, and if you'd like to show your support for this channel, make sure you hit that like button for me. It shows me that you do enjoy this series of Would You Rather, and that you want to see more. And of course, if you have any Would You Rather questions you would like me to answer in the next episode, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, and I will do just that. I will answer them all for you guys. Now, I just want to say that I am sorry that there was no Buckmere Kill this week, and that's because I've been working on graphics, and you guys will see here in this episode that I have redone the graphics here on Would You Rather, trying to make things look a little more crisp, a little more clean, a little more sexier, and I'm having a harder time doing that with Buckmere Kill, just because it's hard to incorporate graphics with it. But anyways, with all that out of the way, Would You Rather, new graphics, I think it looks freaking amazing. Make sure you guys let me know what you think about them down in the comment section below. But with all that garbage out of the way, let's move on to the questions. Starting us off this week, we have Michelle G, who asks, would you rather be famous or be a part of any royal family? This is actually kind of a tough one. I've sat here and thought about it for quite a bit. I even had to get a second opinion, get some ideas going, because I couldn't really think of very many downfalls for not for being a part of any royal family versus being famous. But the way I kind of see it is like, well, first of all, how famous are you, right? Like, are you nationally famous? Like are you worldwide famous, North America famous, YouTube famous? Like, what are we talking here? But for the sake of, I guess, equality, let's put it on the same scale as, I guess, the famousness. Is that even a word? Of a royal family. You know, to me, the way I see it is, if you're part of a royal family, you're famous in the UK, right? So I guess in that sense, that's the equal famous rating would be that I would be famous in North America, or if anything, I could make it so that I'm famous in the UK if I wanted to make it dead even. But I don't live in the UK. Let's just say that the famous level, I guess we can go with is North America. The thing is, the way I see it is, like, if you're famous for being part of a royal family, and I know that you didn't say you're famous for being part of a royal family. You're saying that I'm part of a royal family, so fame isn't necessarily there, but it kind of goes hand in hand. People in the UK are gonna know who you are because you are part of a royal family. But anyways, the way I see it is, if you're part of a royal family, you're kind of like, I guess, always going to be famous. Everyone's going to know who you are. Everyone's going to know your name. It's kind of, it's royalty. Even long after you're gone, you're still going to have that history of past kings or whatever, princes and princesses or whatever it is, the titles that you guys use. But when it comes to like being famous, eventually you're going to be washed up. Eventually you're going to be forgotten. But there are still people who are famous nowadays, and people can you say their name and know who they are. A good example, Michael Jackson. Long after he's dead, you can say Michael Jackson, and people will know who they are. Even the young kids, like the kids around here, I say Michael Jackson, and they know exactly who I'm talking about, right? But anyways. But the way I see it is like, being famous, even if you're starting locally famous, you can still grow on that famous level. You can go to the point where you're worldwide famous. And if you're worldwide famous, you're, I guess, more known than the royal family. That's the way I see it. Like I could walk out the door here and talk to any of the 12-year-old kids outside and just be like, do you know who Michael Jackson is? They'll tell me yes. And I'll say, do you know who Prince Charles is? And they'll tell me no. Do you know who Princess Diana is? They'll tell me no. Guaranteed. So in that sense, I think I would much rather be famous, because being famous allows me to be more successful, especially if it's worldwide famous. It allows me to make money, allows me to do projects that I always wanted to do, be in a movie, maybe write a book, write a script, I don't know. Just throwing some examples out there. So, there you go. Just because of the fact that, I guess my famousness, if that's even a word, my notoriety, I don't know. Being known can grow. That famous level can be grown, which eventually would give me more opportunities to do more things. But thank you for your question, Michelle G. That was a very hard one to do, and a very interesting question nonetheless. Thank you once again, and let's move on to our next one. Lazy Panda asks, would you rather be a porn star or be a porn director? As awesome as it would be to have sex as my job, I don't think I could live with that. The idea of, I guess, me being naked out there for anybody and everybody to watch, I wouldn't be comfortable with that at all. Like I said, like as awesome as it may sound, I think there'd be more consequences that would follow that, in terms of things that, you know, it could affect the jobs that I would possibly want to go into, and stuff like that, especially like YouTube stuff. Like if I was in a porno and then let's just say I become a big YouTuber, you know, that's gonna really hurt me down the road. I don't think I could handle the criticism and the outcry that some people may have. And I think that it would probably upset my parents as well, and that's not something I would want to do. But being a porn, actually being a porn director would probably upset my parents as well. But at least with a porn director, I get to see everything. Who knows? I might even be able to experience the talent as a porn director. You never know. But at least that way, I'm not putting myself out there being all naked and stuff. Plus, who'd want to see me naked? But yeah, so I think I'd much rather be a porn director, just because I don't think I'm comfortable enough to have myself out there that much. But thanks for your question, to Lazy Panda. Let's move on to the next one. I Am Paradise asks, would you rather be on FaZe competitive team or be on the Optic competitive team? I bleed green. Long time Optic fan. I don't care, you know, the ups and downs that they've been through, you know, from being, I guess, the #1 team to, you know, sometimes not even making the top, I don't know, 4 teams, you know. I always bleed green, and it's mainly because I think Optic Hex is one of those guys that I guess I admire. One of those people I would, you know, they're on my list of people to meet that or at least would love to meet. I think he's a real cool, down-to-earth guy, and a very inspiring. And you know, if you hear about his backstory, I find him to be very inspiring. You know, that anybody could be anything they want to be if they just put their mind and, you know, their effort to it, into it. So the competitive team itself, I don't care too much about any competitive team because the roster's constantly changing. They change more than I change my underwear, and that's 3 times a day. I don't change my underwear that often, but so it's really hard to follow the competitive teams, like the actual players itself. It's hard to have some kind of, I guess, I don't know, some kind of something to latch on to. Like if it wasn't for Optic Hex, I probably wouldn't care too much about Optic. But I do like some of the personalities, like and not so much the competitive side, but, you know, Optic Midnight, Optic Jewel. I think they're 2 really cool YouTubers. But again, I'm not too big on the competitive scene. But like I said, if I was to pick one, it would be Optic, just because of Optic Hex, the guy, the brains behind it all. For FaZe, I don't really know too much about FaZe. Like I know FaZe Temper with 2 R's or 3 R's maybe. But sometimes he seems like a chill dude. Sometimes he just seems like a real dick. But I do like the FaZe trick shot videos that back in the day when they first started up. I was hooked on that stuff. But now so much, the FaZe is just an afterthought to me. Optic is the only like real competitive team that I'm aware of. I know there's other stuff, other ones like Complexity and you know, Curse and stuff like that. Curse Las Vegas, I think. I don't know. But Optic's the way to go for me, just because, like I said, Optic Hex. But thanks for your question. I Am Paradise. Ethan Og, or Egthin324, asks, would you rather live in the 1400s or live in the 1850s Civil War? See, part of me wants to say the 1400s because that's like somewhere around the Renaissance era, right? And that kind of era always fascinated me, you know, like, you know, Game of Thrones kind of thing, not, you know, minus the dragon stuff, but I mean like that kind of era of, you know, castles and the clothing and stuff like that. But it sounds pretty cool and all, but when you think about it, you know, there's no medicine for any kind of diseases or sickness or illnesses that you get, and, you know, a lot of people just unfair treatment. Like the kings and queens would just behead you for, not taking care of the horse or something. It was like a very ruthless society back in the day, where people would kill you for the stupidest reasons, like not paying your rent or whatever, like if you don't pay your rent, you don't get beheaded in public, nowadays. Like, but back then, that's the kind of thing that's it was really brutal, like their punishment was stoned to death, that kind of stuff. At least the 1850s, it's not that bad. I mean, of course, there are still a lot of things that are, punishments and stuff that are quite ruthless. And of course, with the Civil War and all that stuff going on, you might have had, I might end up being, I guess, drafted or whatever to the fight in some kind of war back then. So it's really hard to say because, it's one of those things where I don't really want to partake in any of them. But I think what it really comes down to is probably the 1400s, and what I'm basing this solely on the fact that back then, if you were a larger size male, now I'm not saying I'm huge. I'm like a tad bit of weight. I'm like 200 pounds, probably less than that, maybe like 190. But if you had a gut, it means that you were well fed, and if you were well fed, that means you were wealthy. So in my head, I'm just like, I think that would play a huge part in who I am and who I can become in the 1400s. But in the 1850s, I don't see myself being much of a war kind of guy, going to war and shooting and politics and all that stuff. I don't think I could really do that, at least not very well. So I think I would have to pick the 1400s. Like I said, the era always fascinated me. I enjoy that kind of era, the clothing, the castles and all that stuff. And I'll take advantage of my, I guess, plus size. So anyways, thanks for your question, Ethan or Ethan. I don't know, what do you prefer, Ethan or Ethan? Make your mind up. God damn. Let's move on to our last one. And our last question comes in from Bruce Lee. Seriously? Bruce Lee? I've actually seen this guy around on many other comment sections. Always hilarious. But he asks, would you rather be Chuck Norris or be Bruce Lee? Honestly, Bruce Lee. And I'm not saying that because you are claiming to be Bruce Lee. I'm saying this because Chuck Norris is a washed up, he's a has-been. I don't take any of his movies seriously. When I see him in a movie, I always laugh. Just the way he is portrayed in all the other movies he's done, he's nothing but a joke to me as an actor. Stick with selling your products that you do sell in your infomercials, because I think you're a horrible actor. No matter what you do, Texas Ranger, whatever the fuck it is. Like I said, he's just the punchline for everybody's joke now. He's nothing. He's no one. But you don't get that with Bruce Lee. You don't get that. He's not a joke. He's not a joke. He's not someone you fuck with. And he's done some serious and great movies that the ones that I've seen I do enjoy. So obviously I'm going to pick Bruce Lee over Chuck Norris. And I don't want to be the punchline of everybody's jokes. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like button for me. It does help out the channel. And don't forget to leave your would you rather questions down in the comment section below. It's always appreciated. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay dirty.